Top 10 tips you need to know to improve your liver health. I'm Dr. Carrie Lam. This is Dr. Michael Lam, our authority on adrenal fatigue. Today we're going to talk about how we can help you improve your liver health. So number one is to take some bitters for digestion. Bitter herbs kind of aid in detoxification and helps the liver to break down the nutrition and the impurities that it has to metabolize. So a combination of some bitters in a tea, you steep it and you drink it, can help you with the digestion and be able to help your liver out. Number two is purgatives. Purgatives means you basically want to get rid of your toxins. And what's the best way to do that is through fiber. And having those bowel movements that would help you get rid of the toxins that you don't want in your body. And so things like psyllium husk and eating tons of vegetables and fibrous nutrition will be good for helping you have daily bowel movements and help you get rid of your toxins. And that's great for your liver.
Yeah, helping normal and regular bowel movement is such a critical part because stasis, or stasis, where the toxin stays in the body is the last thing you want. Now, you mentioned fiber. You do have to be careful that when you do fiber, some people, especially if they're weak, they can get constipated. Okay, so you want to drink lots of water and watch yourself. If you are the type of person that can get constipation from excessive fiber, then you have to kind of back off.
And number three is liver tonics. So tell us about some supplements or things that can help with the liver.
Perhaps the age-old proven herb for liver is the milk thistle. It can come in various combinations and standardized extracts, for example. So make sure you get the right one and the good one. It's not just some grind up milk thistle that's kind of thrown together. Of course, also scientific advances have now brought us to a next level where if you are able to ferment, for example, and break down the milk thistle into smaller pieces, they tend to be much better absorbed. And the result is quite significantly different from just regular milk thistle. So there's no shortage of liver-type tonics and liver-type supplements out there. But it really depends on the person. The good ones are formulated for your body to help. And the interesting thing about the supplementation for liver is that it's not necessary that you take it every day. Some people, you have to take it every day for a period of time, then you have to take a break. For some people, there's more than milk thistle. There can be dandelion, for example, that you want to rotate. So you have to have different formulas in order to attack the different pathways of the liver. The liver has multiple pathways. It goes through phase 1, phase 2 of detoxification process, hundreds of pathways. And you want to clean up, for example, and support one pathway today, another pathway tomorrow. So the fine details of how you do it in such a way to have sustainability. And that is very important because it's not only about cleaning up the liver, supporting it and purging it, and then go back to do the same thing. Because we are so exposed with environmental toxin, you almost have to make a point to systematically and comprehensively clear up part of the liver in each day in the process to make sense. That way, that when the liver becomes strong, then automatically the interstitium, the load will go down, the adrenal burden will reduce, and your cortisol output can rebalance itself. So it's not just about just taking supplements, and I see a lot of people come to me with many liver supplements, and they don't understand why it's not working. They're not working because it's not the right thing for their body, and that is the main reason.
So you gotta choose the right nutrient for your right body. So that's number three. Number four is fasting to kind of reset your liver, give it some time to metabolize and go through its toxins.
Yeah, fasting is a good concept. But when people have adrenal fatigue, you have to be very careful. I don't want to just ring the alarm bell all the time. But the reality is that fasting, if you are not ready, you can actually go into what we call a detoxification reaction. This is in addition to the detoxification or Hertzheimer reaction that you get. So you can get a double whammy if you're not ready.
And number 5 is to avoid overeating, and even finding out what types of food can cause more liver issues. So obviously the fatty foods, the processed foods, your liver is going to have a harder time processing those toxins. And so clean eating is very important, but keep in mind, the more you eat, the more your liver has to work too. So to avoid overeating is important.
Yeah, I think the type of oil that you use is very important because oil eventually ends up in the liver, and the liver is the one that processes it greatly. Mm-hmm.
So number 6 is to increase water intake.
Well, I think above all else, if you do nothing, just increase water will help already, and it's harmless unless you do too much. And in the people with adrenal fatigue, you do have to be very careful, especially if you have sodium and electrolyte imbalance, because an excessive amount of water can cause a dilutional hyponatremia and get you into trouble. But overall, for normal people, yeah, hydration is very important. It's not so much the kind of water, because there's a lot of discussion whether it's acidic water or base water or pure water, but it's really the volume of the water that is really much more significant portion that you have to pay attention to.
And let's talk about number 7 is to eat certain foods that are good for your liver. So that would be like legumes, fresh berries and fruits, and leafy vegetables are always good for your liver, and even some whole grains. So those are foods
and you can actually feel it, because if you eat a clean meal, you feel less burden, you feel less sluggish, especially after lunch or after dinner.
Yeah, you're not as foggy, basically. And number 8 is to cut back on heaty foods. What are heaty foods? Things like alcohol, spices. Certain spices can cause your body to be more heated up and unable to metabolize or regularize as well.
The concept of heat is part of the yin-yang concept in traditional Chinese medicine. Mm-hmm. And heaty food are food that are more stimulatory, more anabolic, oil, French fries, versus more cooling yang foods like a cucumber. So you want to focus more on the less burden foods.
Right, and less red meat, less tomatoes, and coffee even can be heaty.
Correct.
So number 9 is exercise. Exercise gets things moving, and so it's good for blood flow, and it's good for detoxing also, and it helps your liver.
And again, you have to be careful. Proper exercise is definitely a good thing to do, sweating it out. And you can actually feel, some people will say, well, I go to the sauna, I sweat, I can actually smell the sweat coming out. And these, sometimes you can have dark spots coming out from the skin from detoxification and helping the body in that way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And number 10 is really important. It's rest. So people with adrenal fatigue, they go through so much stress. All those hormones that your adrenals put out also have to get metabolized in the liver. And so just keeping in mind that rest is very important for your body. It allows the liver the time to metabolize and do its work. That's very important.
Yeah, the liver is a critical part of the neuroendometabolic stress response that our body has already built in to help us overcome the daily toxins and the insults. So, if you don't have a proper liver, it's almost impossible to have a functioning vitality that is at the optimum state.
So that's the top 10 tips you need to know for your liver health. I'm Dr. Carrie Lam. This is Dr. Michael Lam. We're here to empower you on your health journey.